Hello and welcome to another update video about ETH. Yeah, ETH is performing well today. Late yesterday it started. There are some rumors, and that's what crypto Twitter deals with at the moment. There are some rumors that the ETFs maybe. I haven't heard about the ETH ETF, but I guess they'll be approved together if they get approved. But there could be approvals as soon as tomorrow. Now that might be the catalyst for the latest green candle, which is pretty much in line with our bullish scenario that we've been following for more than a year on the ETH chart. This chart really hasn't significantly changed in more than a year. Started to build it into when it started here in June, July last year with this in 2022 with this 1-2 setup, and since then we have just been building major support levels, never broke since then. Yeah. And I keep giving you the relevant support areas, okay? And at the moment, the main support to keep going in this scenario to $3,000, $4,000 and beyond, that's $1,678. And anybody who isn't really interested in the daily noise, because of course, smaller time frame, volatility can be very confusing. Some people can't handle, the volatility on the shorter time frames, which is absolutely okay. That's not for everybody. Just follow the daily chart, and this would have guided you well without the need of the short-term stress, really. But we do the short-term perspective as well to cover educational content and things like that. But just wanted to remind you of the overall roadmap here that could send us higher towards $3,000, $4,000 next. And the only thing is that Ether, if the wave 2, okay, so we have a series of 1-2 setups here. If this wave 2 is already in, then it was extremely shallow and unfortunately less deep than ideal and therefore not really reliable. See, we always like to have those landmark pullbacks on the charts because they guide us, okay? So it's a little bit unclear as to what's happening here. Therefore, we need to be a little bit flexible on the smaller time frames. But the message remains the same, that against the 1678 level, we focus on higher towards, essentially 8 to 12K in the bull run. I mentioned it before, we could stretch out to maybe 18K, but that is really only possible, in my opinion, in very, very favorable environments. And I don't see that as primarily what the price is going to target. I'm looking more at like 8 to 12K for a bull run target. Now let's take a look at the smaller time frame here. We haven't really had any change. So the situation is still that the ETH chart could still be moving in this WXY structure. Showed you that yesterday. WXY. Main question is, does this high get broken? Because in a WXY structure, we're dealing with a Y wave now, and this is an A, B, C. And should the price break above this high that was made on the 28th of December, which is at $2,446, then yeah, this one will get broken, even though technically also here a high B wave is possible, but it would be a very, very wonky and unrealistic structure in a way. You already have a WXY structure as a flat structure with an overshooting X wave, and then within the Y wave you have an overshooting B wave. That's a bit of a forced count. So again, I highlighted to you that in this wave B, to keep the white wave count alive, which would send it down a little lower still, basically maybe a little bit of buy the rumors, sell the news, stop fishing fake out. Well, to keep that really alive, the price needs to stay below 2,446. Price already broke above initial Fibonacci resistance, but only for a short period, so it hasn't sustained yet, okay? On the flip side, the yellow count, which is the direct bullish escalation count, turned exactly where it needed to. Remember, I gave you this long trade setup support zone a few days ago for anybody who wanted to play the yellow scenario. For me, the less probable scenario, but it's getting obviously more probable and the market is forcing it. But it's just, for a wave two, just a little bit too shallow to be reliable. But okay, if the market wants to, we know that pullbacks in bull markets can be rather shallow. Still, though, we always have to align with probabilities. And in this scenario here, we would have seen a so-called 1-2, 1-2 setup. And we could now really be in a third wave to the upside. Let's remind ourselves, I mentioned that in yesterday's video, what would be a target for this circle wave 3? We talk about at least 2,592, better 2,634 plus. Then we should get a small 4 and a 5. That might take us to round about 2,755 to 2,821. Then we should get another wave 4 and another wave 5. You might ask what happens afterwards. Well, this would all, this is not a fully labeled chart. It's just a 1 hour chart. Let's go back to the daily chart. It reveals that basically there should be only shallow pullbacks towards 8 to 12K if this scenario, unfolds as shown here. But I will always give you the latest updates on the 1 hour chart. These can change quickly, however, due to the volatility. This chart is likely not going to change much or not going to change until we break a critical support, which so far the chart has avoided because it has been respecting our, basically our Fibonacci levels that basically just come from the Elliott Waves. Yeah, and again, if we zoom in a little bit, when would we have confirmation? Just adjust something here. When would we have confirmation that the yellow count is breaking? Basically, that the yellow count is not playing out, Well, I have to say that obviously for the white count to be confirmed or the yellow one to be invalidated, the price needs to break. By the way, no, it's fine. The price needs to break below $2,257. That's quite far away. I actually see a potential 5-wave move to the upside also here now. Okay, well, that could be the C wave. So this could be complete. How would that be labeled? Well, it's quite straightforward. We have a small 1-2 setup here, yeah, and then we have a 3, 4, 5. So that's another potential C wave or a wave 1 in the yellow scenario. If this is another yellow wave 1, then obviously this would actually extend a little higher eventually. Therefore, we can add a support level, micro support, which is the 78.6 Fib level. We have to use that should we get, whenever we get, let me see, I need to just make sure. Oh, I forgot about, this one, because this would be another one too. Okay, no, sorry, of course. So in the yellow count, just wondering, this would be probably a 1, 2. Then this is just a 3. So we are now in a 4 and 5. And there's basically one more high missing. And that means we have to use the 50% retracement level as support. By the way, I will take the resistance area out now, otherwise it's in the way. Just as an explanation, whenever we only have 3 waves up, which is very much in line with the white count, or in the yellow count, it would need another higher low, higher high to form the next 5 waves up. Again, it helps us just with the micro support. So here for direct continuation, higher, in the yellow count, it would be good if the price could hold the $2,345 level. So if we now see a reaction to this support level, then it is likely, at least it would support the idea of the yellow count, yeah? So we have another 5-wave move up. So that's why the 50% fib level needs to hold, because in any wave 4, we don't want the price to go below the 50% fib level. Well, if it does, then likely something different is going on. Yeah, that's my update about ETH. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter. You can find the links in the description. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.